And the day I was having a day, but fortunately I was able to pull myself out of it. That's why it's very important. Man, that's why, see y'all, remember when I told y'all, what was that, a few days ago about the small wins journal?
Right.
Man, like, I'm glad I was able to go back and just look over my stuff, because I have been, trying to get into, or been working to get into the technical enablement field. And so I was just looking through, different positions to apply for and stuff today, and different resumes and stuff. And like, I was like, man, oh man, I don't know if this is what I don't know if I got any qualifications for this. But fortunately, I don't know why I just started going back, looking through my emails at my previous, because I was looking for my previous jobs just to see, okay, what, because you know how you do a resume, like you kind of build it to what it is that you're applying for. And so I was looking like, okay, let me see, what can I kind of tie together for this? Because this is a whole new, like, it's not new because it's teaching. All you're doing is teaching. That's all enablement is, you're teaching. But it's just the field in which you're teaching in. And then these positions, like, they want you to have like 5-10 years experience and all this other crazy stuff. But I started going back, looking through my job descriptions of previous positions that I had, and majority of the stuff that was on there, a lot of stuff that was on there, same stuff as enablement. And so it just really like gave me that upliftment again, like, okay, no, I am qualified for this. Even though it's a new field as far as title, it's still something that I'm still qualified for. And I know, Kurt, you and I talked about this the other day, man. Like just knowing what it is, like just really having that confidence. What's good, bro? What's good, bro? Just came in, Mike. What's good? Yeah, but we talked about this the other day, just having that confidence in yourself, because majority of the time, whatever it is that you're going after, you are qualified, and most times overqualified for. But because it may be a change in title, or it doesn't look how you're accustomed to it looking, then you you kind of second guess yourself. But yeah, once I did that, I was like, man, I'm straight. Like, it is what it is. Whatever is whatever. Mike, you just got on. I know you knew. We usually give everybody till about 8:15 to get in. People putting their kids to bed, and having their last little conversations with their wife for the night. So we're gonna get started at 8:15. We always give everybody about 15 minutes to get in, and we're gonna get started at 8:15. Tonight's lesson is it's not gonna be, tonight's meeting is not gonna be a long one. I feel like, especially where we're at, we got all the information for where we at, what we need. So I'm just gonna kind of retouch back on some stuff that we've already went over. Start doing that, not restating it, but taking parts of what we've already done and going deeper into each part. Because I don't want to just keep giving information and giving, and then we get information overload, and then we don't want to move. So I feel like we got a nice starting point and a nice piece of information to get us all the way through, so we can just build on there and go from there. Let's see where we at with that. Yeah, so man, today was a day mentally, but was able to push through it. Oh man. Oh boy.
And being able to recognize you having that.
What?
I was saying, being able to recognize that you was having that day in the first place. So then to utilize the tools that you already built is the keys, instead of just sitting in that place.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy too, because so as I was reading through these job descriptions and stuff, like, I literally felt myself getting overwhelmed, and I was like, what in the world? So I went to go take a nap. I was like, let me go lay down for 30 minutes, recalibrate myself, and then get back up and get back to it. And I went to lay down, and I couldn't, because then my mind just started racing, and I started thinking about, if I can't make this happen, all the opportunities that I might pass up, just all this type of stuff. And then like all of these, that voice, remember what we read? I think that was what, letter 1 from that book that we've been reading, where Hill Harper said, you know, you're gonna have that voice, and that literally that voice started creeping in. And then I like heard my voice reading the book saying, hey, you're gonna have that voice, tell that voice to go away. Like it literally did that. And I was like, oh, okay, good. Yeah, no, get on up out of here. And then so I got up, I started doing some more reading, researching some more terms and some more other titles and stuff like that. And then started getting overwhelmed again. So I wanted to go lay down. But every time I wanted to go lay down, I couldn't go to sleep. So I was like, man, this is crazy. So I started working on some other stuff, stuff for my actual business, for the consultant business, doing stuff like that. And then I tried to go back to it. And then that's when I went and looked at the resumes of my previous resumes, as well as my previous the job description letters. And then that's when it hit me like, oh no, I got it. Like, yeah, I may not have, this little piece of that little piece, but for the most part, I have the experience that I need. So it's just a matter of me making sure that I, when I get in there, just soaking everything up so that way I can succeed at the position. Because I mean, it's some good positions, man. Good paying positions and good positions. So that's all I'm at. And then the individual was telling me about it too. Like when she was explaining to me the pay and stuff, like I had to remember. Like she telling me about positions that's like $200,000 and $300,000, but she been doing it for 20 years. So she gonna be able to make $300,000 doing it. I don't want to cut myself short, but I want to also be realistic. Like, am I gonna jump out the gate making, $150,000? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that position is available, but I don't want to set myself up for failure. I might get offered a position where they're paying 90, and I'm like, oh, that's too low. When that should have been where I should have been starting at. So if I could start off in 6 figures, that'd be beautiful. Well, I was going through mentally today. It's crazy, man. I'm like, what in the world? This is wow. Wow. But all the stuff that we be going over literally came back to my mind, y'all. It helped me push through it. We got about 1 minute. Now 1 minute before we start. Am I sharing my screen? I ain't sharing my screen yet. I got these. Y'all know I'm fasting, so on my fast, one thing I'm fasting from is bread and rice. But I've been feeding for some chips and also deep fried foods. But I found these baked parm chips. So they're literally made out of all cheese and they're baked. So you still get that crunch that you get from a chip, and that saltiness that you get from a chip, but it's not deep fried, and it's all cheese. So now works for me. All right, gentlemen, it is now 8:15. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing started. I appreciate everybody being here today. Let me start sharing my screen. I appreciate everybody being here today. I appreciate everybody who is on the call now. I appreciate everyone who is coming into the call, who is watching the call at a later date. I thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules, with your family, your wife, your kids, to put in some effort and get yourself set to, be a better version of yourself or achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve. So today is the Setting Your Attention session number 11. This is Setting Your Attention session number 11. We have went through a lot, gentlemen. I didn't do a recap this time. I feel like we touched on a whole bunch. But for you all who are not here, who have not been here, we've been focused on setting our goals, setting our intentions, putting forth what it is that we want to do, what it is that we want to accomplish over the next 365 days, and then strategically mapping out how to achieve that goal. So we've been doing that by going over practices such as reverse engineering our goals, the 5 W's of goal success, SMART goals, SWOT analysis of our goals. We've been doing all of that. We've done mental health checks. We've done how to overcome fears. We've done how to respond to circumstances and situations as opposed to reacting to them. I feel like that was a very important lesson, because reacting is emotional, whereas responding is emotional intelligence. Responding is you making sure that you're understanding the totality of the situation, whereas reacting is just you going off of what was planted in you and your emotions and feelings, whether they are wrong or right. So that was very, very, very important. Very, very, very important session that we went over. So for those of y'all who are new, we are Infrastructure of a Man. Infrastructure of a Man is an organization and consulting business that works with men to help them overcome mental blocks and stuck points. We also help men restructure their ideas as well as help them create new ideas. We work together to form a support system where men can come to go to be understood, supported, as well as have an accountability group that will encourage one another to achieve the goals that each man has set forth for his life. Our aim is to ensure that real men prevail. For those of y'all who don't know me, I am Virgil Johnson. I'm an author, consultant, public speaker, husband, father. I forgot to put my 2 books on here. I'm an author of 2 works. They're on Amazon. They're published right now on Amazon. Making Your Enemy Your Footstool, How to Use the American System to Your Benefit as a Black Individual in America, and the Garden Bed of Life Journal, How to Take Your Ideas from Being a Seed to Bringing them to fruition by harvesting them. So those are my 2 works you go and purchase on Amazon right now. So I want to start off with this quote, gentlemen. I want to start off with this quote. This is going to be the topic of our discussion today. We're not going to have a long discussion today because I feel like we've covered a whole lot. And I'm going to be putting up the videos from the last session so people can go back and watch those. And then I just want to go into each part that we've already went over and just hone in, because right now we are in the fasting phase of achieving our goals. So for those of y'all who are new to what it is that we're doing, we are on day 10 of a 21-day fast. So the purpose of the fast is to go back to our creator, to the universe, to the source, and say, hey, I've sacrificed these things and I need you to open up my pathways and open up my opportunities to be able to achieve this goal in which I want to set forth. The things that we fasted from, we've taken a few things that we enjoy, the pleasures, and given them up as a form of sacrifice. And then we've also sacrificed some negative characteristics and traits within us that may hold us back from our goal. So for instance, I fasted from, like I told y'all, processed foods, deep fried foods, meats, processed sugars. Those were the things that I enjoy having, but I fasted from them to show that, hey, I want to give a sacrifice to achieve this goal. Now, the characteristic traits that I fasted from is inconsistency, information overload, a couple of those things, and a couple of other ones. Actually, I got my notebook right here. See my other couple of ones I got right here, just so you know exactly where we are at. Negative communication, procrastination, inconsistency, and information overload. So those are the character traits that I'm fasting from, so that way I can achieve what it is that I'm trying to achieve. But I want to start off with this quote right here, gentlemen. Fortune favors the bold, so never be afraid to stick your neck out on your own behalf. This is a quote by Jay Prince. It comes from his autobiography, The Art and Hustle of Respect. Yes, The Art and Hustle of Respect. Art and Science of Respect. I'm sorry, The Art and Science of Respect. That's his autobiography. So this is a great quote, because I want to talk about today being bold. When it comes to achieving your goals, gentlemen, no matter what it is that you want to do, the reason why you have a goal that you want to achieve is because there's a place that you want to get to that is not where you're currently at. And in order for you to go somewhere different than where you're currently at, you're going to have to do some things that are different than what it is that you do. Oftentimes, it's going to take a lot of courage for you to do those things. So you have to be bold, especially on your behalf. So how can we be bold? I want to revisit the 5 W's, is particularly the 5th pillar, which is the who. So for the 5 W's, for those of y'all who are new, I want to go over the 5 W's really quick so that way you know exactly where it is that we stand at, so you know exactly what it is that we're talking about. So the 5 W's in regards to goal setting, we traditionally know you got the who, what, when, where, why, and how. That's what we've been taught traditionally in school. But when it comes to goal setting, you have to put them in a different order. So you have to go with the where, which is where do I want to go? So you have to know where it is that you want to go. How, which is how am I going to do this? What is going to be required of me? Who do I need to get there? And when am I going to get started, and how long will it take? So I want to touch a little bit on the who pillar in regards to being bold. Gentlemen, none of us are an island. When we want to accomplish something, it's going to take other individuals to help us get there. Some of us on the call, we are in careers where we need other people. For instance, I know Curtis and Mike, y'all are both on the call, y'all both are in music. Y'all don't produce your own music. Y'all don't produce your own songs. Y'all don't engineer your own songs. Not that I know of. Y'all might, but maybe you don't. Well, I know you probably have producers, you have engineers, you have mixers and masters, you got promoters, you got cover designs for your artwork, your album artwork, all of those things. You're not just doing those things by yourself. You have other people to do that because that's their expertise or that's their talent. So you have them doing it so that way you can focus on your job, which is making the music. So when it comes to us as individuals, we have to realize that, hey, we're not an island. We have to have help in order for us to achieve what it is that we need to achieve. So that's why we're going to touch a little bit on the who pillar today. Keep this real short. Quote real quick from scripture, Isaiah 58:1, it says, shout it out loud, do not hold back, raise your voice like a trumpet. So one of the things that I want to touch on today when it comes to your goal is speaking, like in regards to speaking, but telling your goal to people. Shelley Archibald said, let everyone know what your goals are. You're less likely to miss opportunities this way. And I want to tell you a story real quick about how I got into education. So first off, touching on the quote, man, for those of y'all who on social media, y'all see so many times people, you got quotes flying around with like, don't tell nobody your dreams because you might have haters who are praying against your death, praying for your downfall, or praying that you don't achieve your goal and all this and that. And to me, and I might be different, and I understand there's parts in everything. But to me, that's the most scariest piece of advice I've ever heard in my life. You gonna keep, like, none of us can do this thing by ourselves. In order for us to do whatever it is we're trying to achieve, we're gonna need more people to help us. And so if you don't tell people what it is that you're trying to do, how can people come up with resources or tap into their resources that help you get to where you need to get to? You got to tell people what you're doing. You got to let everybody know. And I'm going to tell y'all how I got into education. This is crazy. So starting off, I got into education when I used to be a teacher. One day my car was in the shop. I had caught the city bus to go see my daughter at her mother's house. And I was walking up the street. Now at this time, I don't know what I was doing at that time. I honestly can't tell you what I was doing. Probably what I shouldn't have been doing as far as, making money and stuff like that. But I'm walking up the street and I see, at this time, I'm like 22, somewhere around that age, 22-ish, between 21 and 23. I'm walking up the street and I see a bunch of kids, they like 14, 15, 16, they stand outside this apartment complex. They just outside chilling. It's like 11:30 in the morning, maybe noon. It's around noonish. So of course, I know they're supposed to be in school. Like, this ain't no off day. Y'all ain't have no like random day off. Like, no, y'all supposed to be in school because y'all the only kids in the entire neighborhood that's out right now. So obviously y'all not where y'all need to be at. And so at that, like, I was like, man, I want to go over and like ask them why they not in school. But then I thought about it. I was like, man, that ain't my business. Like, whatever they got going on is what they got going on. But what I could do is help kids not get to that point. That's how I chose to go. That's how I decided to go into education. Now, then I went down this long, winding road, and I started off by tutoring. Like I was like, I want to go into education. I really didn't know how to get into it, but I started where I knew to start at. And where I knew to start at was tutoring. So I started tutoring. I was working for a tutoring company, helping kids study for their SATs and ACTs. So I was doing that for a little bit while doing some other stuff. And then I went on an interview for a tutoring position at a charter high school in Tampa. So I went on an interview. Now their tutoring positions were all filled, but they really, really, really wanted me to be on the tutoring staff. Like they just loved my background, they loved my persona, they loved the information I was giving. Like they were actually sitting there thinking about which one of their tutors they can let go to bring me on. So in the midst of them having that conversation, like, hey, we need you to step out the room because we got to, have some talks about some stuff. I was like, okay, cool. So I went out into the waiting area. Now at that time, I ended up getting some legitimate work, and I was doing security at that time. So I was doing security as well. And so the security company I was working for, my supervisor, she did not she hated the fact that I told her, hey, look, I'm only working a certain schedule. Because not only did I want to go into education, I also knew I wanted to start coaching, and I wanted to be a high school coach. So I knew in order for me to be a high school coach, high schoolers get out of school at that time at 2:55. I can't be working after 2:55. I have to make sure that I'm available so we can have practice after school. And I can't work weekends because you have tournaments on weekends. So I need a job where I'm working Monday through Friday, and the latest I can work is 3 p.m. That's the latest I can work. So I told her what schedule I wanted. She had an issue with that, even though the position that I was working was Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. But she was playing around with my hours because she was like, you're not flexible. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like the only position that y'all need me for is the position in which I want. And she said, well, you got other people who are flexible. So she wasn't giving me consistent hours because she was basically trying to quote unquote punish me for not being flexible. So I'm on the phone with her like, hey, I need some consistent hours. Like I got bills I got to pay. I can't, be working 30 hours one week, 6 hours the next week, 12 hours the week after that, 40 hours a week. Like that doesn't work for me. I need to have something consistent. And so in the midst of my conversation, the supervisor, not supervisor, in the midst of my conversation, the secretary was sitting out there and she overheard my conversation. Now, prior to this, gentleman, I had been telling people, like, for instance, everybody at that security job that I worked with, I had been telling them, hey, man, I want to get into education. Like I had been talking into speaking it. Like one of the other supervisors, he was right below her. Me and him were really cool. He understood. Like he actually is the one that, because they needed a signature from my supervisor, even though he wasn't my direct supervisor, he signed my paperwork for me and gave me a good recommendation because he knew this is what I really want to do because I was talking about it. I was putting it out there. So he helped me in that regard because at the time that was my job that I had and I needed a supervisor's recommendation that I'm a good worker. So fast forward back to me having the conversation in the waiting room. Now, I wasn't intending to have a conversation in the waiting room. Like she called me and then I was like, hey, I'm just having this conversation, not even thinking who's around. So I got frustrated. I just hung up the phone in her face. The secretary was like, hey, I hear that you are looking for, you do security. I was like, yes, ma'am. She said, hey, one of our sister charter schools is looking for a security guard. I was like, okay. She said, as a matter of fact, I've already sent them all of your information over there. So she sent off my resume. She sent everything over there. And I've never talked to this woman other than when I spoke to her, said hi with a smile when I walked in the door. That's it. But she, for whatever reason, sent my information over to the assistant principal at the other school. When she did that, the other people came out. She told them what they did, and they was like, well, they do need you more over there. We're already staffed. We really want you over here. We can have you over here, but they're short-staffed over there, so we're going to send you over there. So I went over there, interviewed for the security position. I'm interviewing with their assistant principal. The assistant principal was like, man, it's unfortunate that you came in because I literally just hired a guy the other day. And in my head, I'm like, well, why did you take the interview? He was like, but I took the interview because the secretary was so high on you. Like she was just saying how great of a person you are and all this and that. He said, and with your background, we have to have you in the school. So they created a position that they didn't have at that time for me to work at that school. And then me being in that para-pro position, we were short staffed for classroom teachers. So I was able to become a classroom teacher in that position. So it was because I continued to put out and communicate what it was that I wanted. How I kept that to myself, I don't get that good recommendation from that supervisor, which then doesn't give me a good supervisor recommendation. Maybe I don't even get the interview. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you put out your goals, because you never know who has connections to what. You never know who knows who and who could help you with what. And guess what? If somebody out there who don't want you to achieve what you want to achieve, so what? Like, F them. Like, the power that you possess within you has to be stronger than any obstacle or any adversity that comes up against you. It has to be. And as a matter of fact, as we've been talking, that adversity is actually there to make you stronger. It's actually there to mold you and sculpt you to be stronger. So it shouldn't even matter if somebody don't want you to have something, or somebody might be speaking against you. In some cases, it does matter. But if you continue to put forth the proper character and you continue to put forth great works, your works and your character will speak for itself. And the people who believe the individual who's trying to sully your name or trying to stop you, they're not important anyways. The truth is going to come out eventually. So that's why it's very, very, very important to let everyone know your goals. Let everyone know what your goals are. Let as many people know, so that way other people can start plugging and helping you achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve. So this is what I want us to do. I want us to take about a minute. This is our activity that we're going to do. I want us to take about a minute, and I want us to write down 10 people who we know that we have not told what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And I want you to write those 10 people name down, so that way tomorrow or throughout the week, you can go and tell them what it is that you're trying to do. So let's take a minute, write down 10 people who we know, so we can go and tell them what our goal is. So I'm gonna do a little short countdown. I want to think of 10 people as well who I haven't told, who I need to tell. Hmm, 10 people. All right, gentlemen. So hope you all had the time to took the time to write down those 10 people. Make sure that they're different from anyone whom you may have told already. Like, it's good to tell people, but you want to spread this word out. You want to. So for instance, Alex, let's go with you. One of your goals that you want to do is you want to be able to be prepared to be able to speak in front of audiences, especially in front of your congregation and whatnot, on the spot. Because eventually you want to have a bigger role speaking. Now, if you're telling people, hey, this is what hey man, I want to be able to get up in front of my congregation and be able to pray more. I really want to embrace that role. Like, what that's gonna show people is that like you're preparing yourself and you're ready for this. So then guess what might happen? Somebody might be like, hey man, at my congregation, they need, they're looking for an assistant pastor. I told my pastor about you. I heard, some of your lessons at the teenage ministry. I like what you're saying. I've seen how strong you are in leading prayer in front of the congregation you at now. Maybe you could be an assistant minister at this other congregation over here. And that may open that door for you. Never know what door that might open up for you. But you gotta put it out there. You gotta be bold with it as you're putting it out there. Because as you show that, because that's the thing, you going to people, you telling people what it is that you want to do, that's you showing them confidence in yourself. Just like our brother Jay Prince said, let me go back to it. Fortune favors the bold. So never be afraid to stick your neck out on your own behalf. Whenever you go and you tell people your goal and what it is that you're trying to achieve, that's you being bold, because guess what? Somebody can laugh in your face. Somebody can, man, that's what you want to do. Man, you ain't gonna never be able to do that. Somebody can, if you aren't secure in you and secure in what it is that you're trying to accomplish and secure in your talents and your skill set, someone else's dismissal of your goal could break you and stop you from going after that. Someone else's dismissal could plant a seed, but the reason why you're doing this is because you're going right to the face of adversity, and you looking at adversity right in the face, and you're saying, no, this is what I want to do. So you got to be bold, and you're being bold by telling as many people as possible. So that way you can put it out there, and also by you putting it out there, guess what? Now you're setting a standard for yourself in the universe, because you can't tell people I want to do X, Y, and Z, and then just all of a sudden stop doing it, because then it's gonna make you look like a liar. So now you gotta keep your word. So it's gonna force you to overcome any of those fears that you may be having, or any of those doubts that you may have, because you're more afraid of being a liar or made to look like a liar than you are of not achieving your goal. So you have to make sure that you are bold and you're telling people also what I want you to do. And of course, you're not going to be able to write this down, but I want you to tell 10 strangers your goal as well. You need to tell 10 people who you absolutely do not know what your goal is at all. So I give you an example. Let's just say I go to Taco Bell to get some wings from Taco Bell after my fast over with. Yeah, I know that's funny. I'm not getting any wings from Taco Bell. But if I go to Taco Bell and get some wings from Taco Bell, and then as I'm sitting there paying, I'm talking to the cashier. Hey, man, how you doing? I'm good. You having a good day? Yeah. Hey, I just want to let you know, man. Hey, I'm working I'm running a men's life consulting firm, and my goal is to help 800 men this year. Now, guess what? That might not mean nothing to him, but the dude in the back might have heard that. And as I'm about to walk out, he might be like, "Hey, man, let me get your number. I'm off track. I want to get on track." Or he might know somebody. He might, that's what's up, man. That's good. Hey, man, what's your Instagram? What's your whatever? What's your website? What's your phone number? And then he may pass it on to somebody else. Or that might stick in his head. He might not say nothing to nobody, but all of a sudden, I tell him, "Hey, man, I'm with Infrastructure of a Man." Now, that might not mean nothing to him, but 6-8 months down the line, he might be going through some stuff where he need help, and he just get online and Google Infrastructure of a Man, and I pop up, and then he come get my help. So you never know, like you telling 10 strangers, you never know who they might go touch. He might be like, "All right, dude," and then they go to laughing or whatever. He go home, tell his girl, he started laughing, they laughing with us. He laughing about it. And then she go tell her brother, because her brother's struggling with some stuff and he needs some help. Like, you never know who it might help or what it is that you're trying to get to might get to based off of who you tell. That's why you tell as many people. But I want y'all to start with telling 10 people who you have not told already, and then telling 10 strangers about your goal as well. I really want y'all to work on achieving that within the next 2 weeks. I know we got a lot already for this week. In the next 2 weeks, let's try and aim for that goal. So that's that. That's what I wanted us to do. Let's get some feedback. Let's get some feedback real quick. How do you guys feel about that? Reaching out to 10 people but you haven't told, and also reaching out to 10 strangers. Alex, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. For some fact, like you say, you never know how someone that you know or you don't know can help you, or how you can help someone that you do or do not know. Because it's a lot of times, especially as men, you don't talk about the things you got going on, so you never know that person that you're opening up to, or that person that you just reaching out to, building that bridge, is sitting there on the other side waiting for someone else to build the bridge.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, sir.
So I mean,
Oh, my bad, my bad.
No,
Keep going.
you good. That's it.
Okay. Kurt, what you think about that? What's your input on it?
About telling 10 people you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you say, you just never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know who the person is that you're talking to. Like you can't
Mm-hmm.
just judge people by looking at them. You just really never know who a person is.
Yes, sir.
So you might tell somebody your goal, and that's the exact thing they're looking for, and they willing
Mm-hmm.
to pay a lot of money for it.
Yes, sir.
And you might be working at a fast food joint.
Mm-hmm.
You tell somebody what you're really trying to do, because like I used to work at a fast food joint, and there's been plenty of people that come in there and they scoping. They looking for people that can fill certain roles,
Mm-hmm.
either in their business that they got, or they might just want you for a gig. They just might want to hire you for a one-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you just never know. So it's always good to network with people.
Yes, sir.
That's what networking is, basically.
Yep. And then Curtis, you got Reed Custom Tee, your clothing brand. Well, not your
Mm-hmm.
clothing brand, but your clothing company. And then you also have your clothing brand.
Mm-hmm.
But even with your Reed Custom Tees, like there's many people out there who they have many different events going on, and they need somebody. They may be, they need somebody who, hey man, I need good quality shirts for this family reunion, or for this funeral, or for this graduation, or for this birthday party, or whatever. And so the fact that, you done told everybody, now everybody like, oh yeah, I know Curtis. Yeah, he good. He got the product that you need. Go to him. But if you ain't never open your mouth up, nobody won't know to even refer you.
Right.
So that's why, yeah, it's very, very, very important.
Yeah,
to make sure.
Like you say, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Stanford, what you got on it?
I agree. I mean, networking is good, because just say, like, if you do go up to somebody with an idea and you telling them about it, and they could have something to go with it, you know what I mean? Two minds better than one, you know what I mean? You never know. A person could be already working on something like that, and then you already hold a key to it, which they network with you, and, you know what I mean, give you some more ideas, and then become even greater.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You are correct. Yep. And that's why, yeah, open that mouth. I'm telling you, man, when I be seeing that online, I be wanting to like personally DM people, and not necessarily curse them out, but just be like, man, quit spreading fear. Like that's some fear talk. Don't tell nobody what you got going on. Keep it secret. Da 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 da. I'm be honest with you, I don't know too many successful people that talk like that. Like truly successful people. I don't know too many. Kirk, can you think of any? I ain't never heard of no, business. I ain't never heard, Mark Cuban or anybody talk. I ain't never heard them say nothing like
Mark
that.
Cuban, no.
There's
Successful
always
people.
poor people who talk like that.
Yeah.
Poor-minded, poor-spirited. It's always poor people who talk like that. Oh, man.
Yeah, successful people always gonna tell you what they got going on.
Yes, sir. Now, unless it's like, of course, some real top secret stuff. Like, now we ain't talking about nothing like that. But even that stuff get told.
I mean, if they got a business, they gonna tell you what they do.
Yep. Yeah, they at least gonna tell you what they do.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, you are right about that. I want to get to this 21-day fast, gentlemen. We on day 10 for those of y'all who started from day 1. We on day 10. Like I was telling y'all at the beginning of my of the call today, just the day that I had mentally, was a struggle today. Just some things I've been trying to overcome. But it's crazy. One of the things that I'm fasting from is negative communication. So like I was telling y'all, when that voice popped up, like that literally is what popped up. Like I'm not even allowed to have negative communication with myself. So I got to get that up out of here. So the fact that I was fat like that saved me from like really spiraling down into this whole, because like, I'm gonna tell y'all gentlemen, and some of you all know me, I know who, you know, I've grown out to be like, I can get to a space where I just be like, bump it. And I don't want to do that. Like I really have been working on, no matter how I feel, still taking care of my responsibilities. And infrastructure of a man call is a responsibility for me. So if I had allowed myself to continue to think like that, now that starts connecting everything. Now, not only do I feel like I'm underqualified in that, but then I start feeling like, you know, what's it called? Imposter syndrome. Now I start feeling imposter syndrome for this. Like, oh, maybe I really can't help these men because I can't even help my, like, all that crazy stuff. Y'all, we ain't gonna do the call no more because I don't believe in myself. But because I'm fasting from the negative communication, I don't even allow that to happen for myself or to myself. And it actually saved me from having a day that was not productive. Because I'm telling you, back in the day, I would have just checked out and I wouldn't have done, you know, some of the stuff that I need to do. So I'm glad that was definitely one of the things that I got on there. So that way it forced me to. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to go through the whole cycle of the process and then let it go. No, I immediately cut it down. Nope, no negative communications. Got to get that up out of here. Got to. So I'm glad that, you know, that happened for me. Anybody else want to share anything from their fast today? For those of y'all that are doing the fast? All right. We have, let's see, last piece that we're going to do here is we are going to continue reading from Letters to a Young Brother by Hill Harper. I'm a book at. So we started letter 6 yesterday. We started letter 6, started reading some of letter 6. So I'm going to continue reading. I might not read the entire thing, but I'm going to continue reading. Excuse me. For those of y'all who were not here yesterday to hear, basically right now in this letter 6, what he's talking about is quitting versus changing your mind. So he's going to go into basically what the difference is. He was kind of giving some background history and, you know, some quotes from some famous people about adversity and not quitting. And the last thing we left off on, I'm gonna read the last sentence. It says, I want you to lead a revolution in your own mind, heart, and spirit. I want you to never quit. Even when things get harder, doubt comes into your mind. Lance Armstrong, a gifted athlete who had to quit cycling because of cancer, but came back to win the Tour de France, the Super Bowl of bike racing, a record-breaking 7 times, believes pain is temporary. It may last a minute or an hour or a day or a year, but eventually it will subside and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever. In your last letter, you said you wanted to quit the track team. First of all, I don't like you or anyone in my crew using the word quit. It is one of those 4-letter words that I can't stand. I hate it almost as much as I hate the word try, but more on that later. The most important thing for us is to really look at why you want to quit something. Before we decide whether you should or should not quit track, we need to analyze it and realize and really know what quitting means. There's a difference between quitting something and changing your mind and deciding not to do it anymore. I'll explain. First of all, words have power. By that, I mean you could take the exact same action, but if you call it 2 different things, it will have an effect on the way you approach that action. After Michael Jordan had won numerous championships with the Chicago Bulls, he decided to leave basketball for baseball. After a season on a farm league baseball team, he changed his mind, returned to the Chicago Bulls, and won 3 more championships. Michael Jordan didn't quit baseball, he changed his mind. He followed his passion to pursue baseball, experienced it, then decided he loved playing in the NBA more. In both cases, he followed his passion. He didn't quit. He just replaced one passion pursuit with another. Let me tell you about my man, Steve Jobs, a dude I respect a great deal. He's the guy who created Apple Computers, the iPod, and founded Pixar, the company that makes movies like Toy Story and The Incredibles. Well, his wealth is so huge, he makes Michael Jordan look poor. For the past 33 years, every morning, Steve Jobs gets up, looks in the mirror, and asks himself, if today was the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? If there was a bunch of mornings in a row where the answer was no, then he knew he had to change what he was doing. Now, there's nothing wrong with change if you decide to stop doing something that you are not passionate about or that you do not love. That there's a poet who I love named Mary Oliver who said, the only thing you have to do in your life is to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. My point is, do what you love so you never have to quit. If you do change what you are doing for the right reasons, then we all are going to, then we are not going to call it quitting. We're going to call it changing your mind, doing something else or moving on. When you change what you are doing, that means you stop doing something that is holding you back from realizing your true destiny. Anything you spend your time doing day in and day out that you are not passionate about is okay to stop doing eventually, unless it is school or some other educational experience that is leading you toward a bigger, more passionate goal. As we discussed, it's important to be active and make decisions and choices, right? But you can change your mind, and there's nothing wrong with that. Changing your mind is natural. It's okay. It's fine. It's supposed to change. As you learn and experience different things, as you walk through life, you will find you have a new view or perspective. This may lead you to want to change your mind, and that's cool. So give what I just said in this last paragraph. So given what I just said in this last paragraph, is there anything in your life right now that you want to change your mind about? Maybe you want to join the soccer team instead of track team, or stop working part-time at a fast food restaurant in order to intern in a law firm. Or you might want to pick a new major you might want to pick a new major on your college applications. No, I'm serious. Ask yourself the question right now. When in your life do you want to change your mind about? Write it down. Then let's make some changes in that area that you just wrote about, starting today. That's the new version of you right now. In a week or day's time, your mind may change about that, and that's cool too. Change is good, know that. When you say you're quitting something, it means you're stopping because it's hard, challenging, uncomfortable, or raises some kind of fear in you. If something makes you a little scared, it usually means that it's the exact thing you need to complete to go to the next level in your life's journey. Through working hard, we develop new skill sets that make us stronger. That's why when someone lifts weights, their muscles become stronger. When you read books, the muscles in your brain become stronger. When speaking in front of crowds, even though you are afraid, your public speaking muscles become stronger. Let's face it, we are all on life's journey, man, no matter how young or old you are. And the stronger all of our muscles are, the better. Some of us are moving forward, but unfortunately, most people who quit things are moving their feet, but getting nowhere, or worse still, moving their feet and going backwards. Malcolm X talked about these people. The treadmill is moving backwards faster than we're able to go forward in this direction. We're not even standing still, we're going backwards. If you quit track only to hang with a group of slackers who have no drive, then you're going backwards. But if you decide you want to give up track in order to spend time doing something you're passionate about, like playing an instrument or another sport, or even taking a second language, then that is changing your mind. That is moving forward. Standing still and going backwards are no longer options for you and me. So you might as well get comfortable with being successful and unhappily and unreasonably happy. You're part of my crew now, and all of my crew moves forward in their life's journey. Forward fast and furious, baby. I've definitely had my own experiences with changing my mind and doing something else versus quitting. After graduating from Harvard Law School, people expected me to slide right into a high-paying job as a lawyer. I even expected to take a job in a law firm because I wanted to pay off my college loans, and I knew the job would get me out of debt quickly. But here's what happened. I had already studied and fallen in love with acting. So instead of taking a job in a firm, I moved to Los Angeles and began waiting tables and auditioning for acting jobs. Did I quit law? No, because I changed my mind about law as a career. Was law school a waste of time? Absolutely not. I learned so much and made some of my best friends whom I still have to this day. And as a matter of fact, I still use my legal skills when I evaluate acting contracts. And since I changed my mind to pursue what I love, the universe conspired to allow me to pay off my student loans much faster than I ever would have if I had continued to do something I was not passionate about. It works. I am a living testament. All that said, you ask, should you quit track? No, you shouldn't quit. but it is okay for you to stop doing it if you clearly aren't passionate about it. I don't think the reason you want to stop running track is because you're afraid. I think the reason you want to end it is because you now know it doesn't fit into your life journey and it doesn't contribute to you being unreasonably happy. So it's important that when you change your mind about your plan A, you have a plan B ready. Let's assume running track was your A plan. And since you've changed your mind, you need a B plan. Is there another sport you enjoy more? Basketball, hockey, football, which is my personal favorite, tennis, wrestling, or another I didn't mention? Or do you want to join student government or the debate team or the yearbook staff? There are so many other sports and activities that may ignite your passion. The important thing right now is to find the thing you love and do it so that you can be unreasonably happy. So now it's all about formulating an alternative plan, and that's cool. Feel me? Man, I gotta go to the set and shoot a scene for CSI New York. So we'll talk soon. Email or write me a letter when you can. Peace. Oh, and I have been writing you from this Chinese restaurant on Broadway, and it's not coincidental that I got a fortune cookie that speaks to exactly what you've been talking about. I'll throw it in the letter so you can check it out yourself. Your friend Hill. Let's see. The cookie says, oh, he who has not tasted the bitter, it's real small. Hold on. He who has not tasted the bitter does not understand the sweet. That's what the fortune cookie says. Him who has not tasted the bitter does not understand the sweet. And then y'all know we got a couple of letters in here as well. And then we'll just finish those up tomorrow. So based on what it is that we're doing today, leaving off with this quote, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So connecting that back around to what it is that we were talking about today, being bold, making sure you're going out there, telling people what it is. Make sure you're going out there, telling people what it is that you want to do. Make sure you're going out there, letting people know what it is that your goal is. You want to make sure you're being bold in doing that. So the assignment, reminder, the assignment, find 10 people that you want to tell 10 people who you know what it is that you're trying to achieve, what your intention is, who you have not told. And then go and tell 10 strangers the same thing as well. And then after you do that, keep telling people, keep telling more people, keep telling more and more people. So, oh snap. Hey, what part did y'all lose connection on? Alex?
That was a while ago. We right when we were talking about the telling 10 people, I started speaking for a little bit. I think I heard like 2 more people, and all of a sudden, I felt like I was in the Matrix. I had the numbers dripping down my screen, my screen. No, I came back in right before you started reading.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I was just let me go back and see where I was at. I know we were talking about the fast. Let me see. Write down to 10 people, 10, tell 10 strangers your goal. Did you hear my story that I was telling about how I got into education?
Yeah, that was okay. Right before we started talking.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, as long as there wasn't anything after that, then I think I got it.
I think I was just talking about 21-day fast and the importance of it and all of that. So yeah, we good. So yeah, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Believe in the beauty of your dreams. Believe in yourself. Stick your neck out there for yourself. Have a resounding confidence in yourself and what it is that you're trying to achieve, and quiet that voice and just keep pushing forward and moving forward. Every single day, gentlemen. Every single day. So I appreciate you all being here. We're gonna be here again tomorrow, 8 p.m. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 8 p.m. And then we'll continue to touch on this thing and keep pushing forward. I appreciate y'all. Oh, real quick, Alex. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna stop recording.